Welcome back. The show's called Brand Equity and I'm Sonali Krishna. Now, Ashok Amritraj, one of Hollywood's ace producers, was here to promote his latest production, Ghost Riders 2. I caught up with him to chat about the Hollywood industry, bridging the gap between Bollywood and Hollywood, and of course his personal ambitions of making it in Indian cinema. Take it away. Tell me, 5 years between Ghost Rider 1 and 2, why did you decide to make a sequel, considering, Ghost Rider 1 was what one would call moderately successful? Yeah,
Ghost Rider 1 was pretty successful, and actually the reviews were not sensational.
Okay.
But I think we got a good screenplay after a couple of years. I think it's a very solid screenplay. It's all the classic, good versus evil and all of that. But I mean, the Marvel comic books are just legendary, and it was time to do one more. And the visual effects, by the way, have come a long way since, in the last 5 years. So it was pretty good time to make this.
What are you and the other investors in the movie hoping to achieve as the first weekend box office collection to ensure that this is a profitable movie?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
It is a business channel.
Well, anything with a 3 in front of it, so anything above $30 million as an opening weekend in the US, US and Canada, North America, would be extremely successful.
Okay.
So now we have 3 other movies opening against us. It's a busy weekend. It's also a 4-day weekend because it's President's Day. So it is a tough weekend, but let's see. If
you look at the last few years, we haven't really seen any big blockbusters coming out of Hollywood. Is it because the recession has really bitten into this industry as well?
No, I mean, on the contrary, I think Hollywood today, not necessarily for the best, is making 2 kinds of movies. You either make movies that are total tentpoles, so you have Avatar and Spider-Man, and upcoming is Men in Black, and all of these movies, the new Batman, Pirates of the Caribbean. And then you have sort of interesting character pieces, which stars do because they love the screenplay or they love the filmmaker, they have a relationship with the producer. So you have The Descendants that George Clooney did, you have Tree of Life that Brad Pitt did. You have all of these kinds of movies that get made. There's a lot of star power behind that as well. But there are a lot of movies other than that in the middle that don't seem to get made. They used to get made much more before.
Right.
And I think where I fit in a lot in my partnership with the studios is I make a lot of those movies in the middle, but it's actually movies that a studio would take much more money to make.
Right.
And we end up working out deals with actors and directors where they participate with us in the back end. And as a result, we end up making the upfront costs that more reasonable than what a studio could do.
You were one of the few filmmakers who could have bridged the gap between Hollywood and Bollywood, right? But, I mean, I know you did attempt one production here. But beyond that, I mean, it doesn't seem that you're really inclined to do it.
Yes, I made Jeans here, which was earlier on. The Indian market takes serious focus and concentration. I think the guys who do it here do a terrific job and know the marketplace like the back of their hand. There's no point in my coming here and making films that are already being made and made so well.
Yep.
So I think it's a question of finding interesting screenplays that we either develop or find one that exists. More likely that we will develop with good writers who are not easy to find. Here, I think something that is elusive, at least it's eluded me. Maybe there are a lot of wonderful writers around, but so I do want to make something here. I do want to come back.
If you go back in time, how have 2D films done versus 3D films? Do 3D films do better at the box office, or there's no such formula?
Historically, 3D films have done better because the price point is higher.
Right.
So it's 25–30% higher to go to see a 3D movie.
Right.
Now, last year, a number of movies that were in 2D and 3D, the 2D portion of the box office did better.
Oh.
It goes to show, though, that some of the quality is dropping off on the 3D stuff. So if you try to cheapen the 3D experience, people get very upset and would rather go see the 2D movie.
Do you believe that the Indian cinema market has a serious lack of good writers?
I hate to sound in any way negative. From my standpoint and from our standpoint in Hollywood, I would say the screenplay writer is perhaps the most important guy in the process.
Right.
You know, so while you have wonderful actors and you have terrific technicians behind the camera, you know, I think there is a lack of great screenplay writers.
I really want your point of view on why you think actors in India, you know, and these actors are probably the only actors in the world who, along with doing films, do reality shows, host television shows, and do shitloads of endorsements.
You know, I think India is such a specific market. You know, it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. No star could pull off doing all the things that an Indian star can do and still, I mean, be so easy to reach in a way, close to you in a way, on the TV set for free or somewhere else on a commercial or whatever, and then you go to watch him in a movie. It's unusual for that to work, that concept to work, but it does in India. It only seems to make the actor more popular. It's quite amazing. No way it would work in Hollywood. I mean, you could not have a Brad Pitt or an Angelina Jolie or a George Clooney or Sandy Bullock doing doing a whole bunch of other things, and for an American audience to look at it and say, you know, wow, you know, we just saw him on 8 commercials. Thank you so much.
It was truly a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks a lot.
On that very interesting note, let's slip into a quick break. But up next, it's Piyush Pandey talking about his recent read and why it should be on everybody's reading list.